Joining me, George Fitzgerald, is next.
The Late Lunch
on LMFM.
The Late Lunch with Blackstone Motors, Drogheda, Dundalk and Cavan. Our sales and service departments are now open with all government safety guidelines adhered to. We look forward to welcoming you back. See blackstonemotors.ie.
My next guest was a renowned amateur boxer. He's an artist, musician. They believe, and he'll tell me about it in a minute, that he was actually the inspiration for The Commitments and the movie. He was born in Ballymun, grew up in Finglas, and he's now a substantial author as well, because he's just published his latest book called The Promise Maker, and he's on the line. George Fitzgerald, good afternoon.
How are you doing, Jerry? How's things?
Good, thanks for taking a call. And I have to mention as well, you're a jock on Phoenix FM, aren't you?
That's right, yeah. You run my own show, Motivational Journeys. I'm the producer and the broadcaster on that show. Yeah, it goes out on Sunday evenings.
Good man yourself. Well, look, what a CV you have. The boxing, you fought your brother, did you, in an amateur boxing Irish final?
No, what happened there was actually, we didn't end up fighting at all. What we did was, we tossed a coin. Our parents went exactly in favour of us boxing, because it could have probably led to rivalry and stuff. So we ended up, the club was the same. So we tossed a coin, and in the final, and I won by the toss of a coin. On the same night, actually, happened Michael Carruth as well and his brother. They tossed a coin as well.
So is that a thing in boxing, that brothers never bout or never take on each other?
Well, I'm not too sure, but that's definitely what happened to us, and that would have been probably in the 870s, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, a sportsman, an all-round sportsman as well. What's this about The Commitments and you and music? You were in that band that made its mark in the 80s, the D11 Runners.
The D11 Runners, yeah. The D11 Runners was formed by myself, my late brother Joseph, and a number of us from the neighbourhood. My wife Sandra, we are from Finglas, and we started a band called the D11 Runners. Oh, well, we ended up, our agent was Louis Walsh. We ended up with 3 hit singles and things like that. But then what came about was the film The Commitments, and it became basically, I suppose, it was widespread, it still is today, the story of where were the inspiration for the film The Commitments. There were similarities, obviously. Now, the music, of course, was different. The music they played compared to what we played. However, there was similarities, and what started probably was a rumour. It spread everywhere. Someone once told me, I don't know whether it's true or not, Roy Doyle was asked a question, what's the question you've been most asked during your career? And he says, did I base the book, The Commitments, based on the D11 Runners? Whether that's true or not, I don't know. However, that wasn't widespread at the time.
Interesting, isn't it? And I suppose, will we ever know? Well, you never know. Some things like this do slip out eventually. Tell me about the writing. I'm just looking at your stable of books at this stage. Somebody Up There Likes Me Too was the first one. Then the manuscripts followed, The Ticking Clock, The Secret Life of Ashley Brown. And this one you have out now, The Promise Maker, is a sequel to the Ashley Brown book. Tell us about the idea behind it. 1930s Dublin and the slums?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is basically about, obviously, Ashley Brown. She's beautiful, blonde, Dublin girl. She lives this picture perfectly. Well, she meets this guy called Frankie. And anyway, in the second book, it's about her. She's at a funeral and she coaxes Frankie into telling his story. Starting with Frankie, the quick synopsis on that is, he's born in 1930 in the Lower East Side of New York. And he's born to an Irish American, a New Yorker, Nelly. They come to Dublin in 1935 now. When they come to Dublin in 1945, they're trying to depict and create the whole atmosphere of what he's coming into. The Dublin of the 1930s would have been branded, would have been coming from the 1800s going up into that particular period, which would have been branded as having the worst slums in Europe. So this guy arrives at 5 years of age in Dublin, in the worst slums in Europe. And what he encounters is basically in a sense, he started narrating Dublin history to a point of the working class history, and it's the characterisation of the guys and the people that he actually encounters. The likes of Slasher, Harry Boy, grown up, and then he has his father, who he believes is his father, is Paddy. He's half a raving lunatic, and his best friend Buster. Then he gets encountered with Daisy May, who a couple of reviews, the Irish Times, I think it was, a couple of reviews say that the book has a Dickensian type of feel to it. I think the whole Dickensian thing comes really from one singular character, which is Daisy May, because she's a beautiful madam. See, in those days, they ran brothels, and the brothels were called the Kip Houses, and the Kip Houses were ran by the madams, and they were Dublin women, and she's a sort of madam. Daisy May is a madam, but she also has these kids working for her, dipping and pickpocketing and things like that. So in a sense, she, I think it was I forget which paper said, basically she's a Dublin version of Fagin. So hence the whole Dickensian type of view of the book, The Promise Maker. So, and yeah, it's a very gripping story. It's, a guy said to me, he read it, he's a friend of mine, Michael Daly, he's a writer himself, he said, it's dark but not bleak, and it's not grim. It paints the picture, but it's colourful. The characters are all very colourful, you know. So that's Frankie's life. Now the next book that follows that will be called Little Miss Madzer. That's what will come after that, Little Miss Madzer.
So you have that in the pipeline already. Do you have a particular interest? Do I get that from what you're saying? Are you trying to draw attention to something that really people would like to write out a history? You know, when you talk about the slums and how life was there for people. Yeah, because now I'm a Dublin character myself, and my family originated, my mother and father, they would have originated from the Ballyferm and things like that. So I stayed in around Dublin's tradition, but however, when I was starting to look at these, sort of research this whole idea of this book, I was quite taken back by what I saw and what it was. And even when I looked into looking at photographs and pictures of Dublin in the 1930s and going back to that, there wasn't a wide gap. When you looked at the photographs and then you looked at the photographs of, say, the Lower East Side in New York, they're very similar. And see, in the latest book that's going to come out, Little Miss Madzer, he visits what's known as Little Jerusalem. Little Jerusalem was around South Circular Road, going down onto Cannon Street. Then you had Little Italy. So you had the Jews and the Italians, and you had, of course, you had the slums, and you had the gangs, the animal gang, you had the corporation buildings, you had the madams, the prostitutes, and the brothels. And when I started researching all this, I was very taken back by it. I said, Jenny, Mac, that's an amazing story. That's a massive story there. That doesn't seem to be widespread. Now, I know Dublin people would know, but don't forget, at that particular time you had, now, just prior to 1930, 2040, it stopped, you had the Monta, which was the biggest brothel in Europe. So you had the biggest brothel in Europe, centred right in the city of Dublin, right beside the biggest slums in Europe. Where you had animal gangs, and you had all sorts of gangs, and you had all sorts of madams, and you had pickpockets, and like that. For me, that was a major ingredient for what a story. There hasn't really, as I just said, hasn't really been sort of widely broadcasted. Now, there's a guy out there, Teddy Fagan. He'd be more of an expert on the whole thing. He's written a few books himself, and he'd be more of the expert on it. But what I'm saying is, in the sense of dramatisation and the whole idea of bringing the whole story into a novel, I found there's a major gap in the market here. This hasn't been told. And that's what sort of gave me the interest. You've plugged it. I have to say, you have plugged it with this book. I suppose, George, at this time, the problem for writers is, you know, getting their book out there, and with shops closed, because I know you had a good network of shops selling the book for you. How can people get a copy or get hold of The Promise Maker? Is it Amazon?
Yeah, it's Amazon now. And I think you can download on Amazon, The Promise Maker, Amazon.com, €2 or something like that. But I think, to be quite true with you, I think Amazon's the way forward for the foreseeable future. Because the whole area of selling books and that promotion and advertising and that is an absolutely incredibly difficult business. It's an incredible... I don't know, I done a radio show one time, and I think this is what I stated from facts, that in 1911 there was 9,900 books, slightly under 10,000 books published. In 2017 there was 3 million. Yeah. So, as I said before to a guy on the show, I said it's like going on the motorway and you have 10,000 cars in front of you, and then going on the motorway with 3 million. You're on the motorway, but the very fact is there's 3 million in there. How does people find you among those 3 million?
Yeah, you have to stand
very
out.
Difficult business. Yeah, you have to stand out, and it's just when the light shines on you somewhere something brings some attention. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet.
Well, listen, we're hoping to turn the key in the car and light the lights a little bit for you this afternoon here on LMFM Radio by giving you and the book a little outing. Listen, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to tell people the Promise Maker, George Fitzgerald, Amazon.com. You can download it. And it's lovely to speak to you. Thank you, George.
Thank you very much, Eddie. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. Wouldn't you just know that man is a character, wouldn't you? He's Dublin through and through. He certainly is. The Promise Maker. It's a good read, this, and he is shining the light, as he said there, on something that people would probably like perhaps to forget about. But Dublin, the biggest slum, the biggest brothel, Monto, take me up to Monto. Do you remember the song, Take Me Up to Monto? Oh, look, and when you think of today and the different aspects...